Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk and the 2019 World Championship, where G2 Esports are one win away from taking down DAMWON Gaming and pushing EU one step closer to that coveted Grand Slam. I've got a couple questions for you, gentlemen, as we head into the fourth game of the series. The first and foremost is, how did G2 get to this point where they are on match point?
For me, it's Perkz. I mean, the fact that that bottom lane is so heavily in their favor, and they're letting him thrive, pathing towards it. He has been the go-to player in the series as we expected it, and it's working out nicely.
I laughed a bit when I saw the Gragas Yasuo being picked against G2, who's played it so much here in Europe. And I'm like, they know how to play against it. And all of it is like the early setup in lane against a melee champion. You build up a large wave, you call your jungler to path down on this side, and Caps was roaming too, to set up the beautiful tower dive we're seeing on screen at the moment. And I also just briefly want to highlight on this, that Nuclear on the Yasuo in this game made so many mechanical mistakes like the one you see now.
Yeah.
And it was clear that he was not ready to play, even though I know he can play it.
Yeah.
Today he was not ready.
And I think with G2, like, the first dive wasn't perfect. It's about what happens after. What they do after they get that small advantage. And for Perkz, his play specifically on the 280 carries has been incredibly strong. And specifically that bottom lane and those two champions is like the puzzle that DAMWON's going to have to solve if they want to have a chance in this series.
Because I also really want to highlight, if we move away from just bot and look at mid jungle. Because I think Jankos in this game, I think Caps had full priority as well. Like, they actually control the early game, which allows the bot lane to play aggressive. They're the ones who's pathing to the bot lane to set up these plays. It's not just Mikyx and Perkz alone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the key thing for G2. Again, it's multiple lanes, as we highlighted after game one, that's working together. Oh, we have priority push mid. Okay, build a big wave bot, push it into turret, then we dive. That's how you shut down a team.
Perkz is the beneficiary of a lot of team play going towards the bot lane. So my second question to you gentlemen then is, how does DAMWON get out of this situation that G2 has expertly put them in?
Kind of bouncing off the point that he said, because, you know, we're seeing Caps being able to leave lane. We just need to see ShowMaker get out of it, right? We need to see ShowMaker actually be able to lean towards the bot side of the map, provide protection, or alternatively, if they're doing well, go top side and allow, you know, Nuguri to make some plays happen with the advantages that he has, because currently, as it stands, he is, or at least how the map is being shaped, ShowMaker needs to be on the map and active.
I 100% agree. I think we've had 2 losses now where one of the solo laners from DAMWON was on a scaling pick. And I don't think that does anything for you. Kayle game 1, who couldn't do anything in the top lane, Wunder roamed everywhere. Now Corki in game 2. You are on red side. You have potential to counterpick these solo laners. You need to be in a situation where you can win because you're not winning bot.
Yeah. We've seen 3 games now.
Yep.
Right? In the first 2 games, we kind of reveled in the fact that both games were so tense because the teams were able to land counter punches and keep the games close. Finally, in game 3, we didn't see that. And unluckily for DAMWON, they don't have side selection for game 4. So they need to be able to pull deep for what is next. And even though the result has been dominating 80 carries for Perkz, I don't think there's a draft solve for the bot lane for DAMWON. So just like, talking about it now.
All right, give me the one option.
Talking about it now, it might be like a big jungle thing.
To me, it feels like Varus Tahm Kench.
Okay.
I
mean, that's an FPX thing, but is that a DAMWON
so
thing?
they've definitely, like BeryL has played Tahm Kench as his second most played like this year. You
that
know?
was a much different Tahm Kench as well.
It was, but I think you need something that can actually like sit alone 2v2 without getting pushed in hard, which this lane can do. And if enemy team wants to play aggressive against you, you have few more defensive options than like Gragas and Yasuo. So I actually think that kind of bot lane, if you're giving over Kai'Sa first pick as we expect, could be an answer for you, and then win your solo lanes.
The nature of best of 5s, right?
Yes.
We've always talked about the adaptation within the series itself, as well as the importance of side selection. G2, with it this time around, gets to put DAMWON in that uncomfortable position of having to respond to the idea of the ADCs. Let me ask you this, though. From red side, would it not be okay to just drop one of those all-important must-bans and double ban the Kai'Sa and the Xayah?
It's possible. I mean, they dropped the Syndra ban because we don't think they're dropping the
Pantheon
ban. But, like...
But that's the problem.
I mean,
I don't think that helps
Here's the issue.
I think you can, though.
The issue is the laning phase strength itself. If you drop the Syndra, Syndra's going to be happily picked into the Kai'Sa or Xayah. So you actually need to keep the Syndra ban there. So that's why I love the Varus and Tahm Kench. the biggest strength that we've seen so far from DAMWON is their Ryze ultimate. So the Tahm Kench ultimate, to be able to be there for fights, would help a lot for BeryL.
By all accounts, it looks like DAMWON is in a tough position, and it's G2 who put them there. Again, 1 win away from moving to the semifinals. Official, I'm coming to you. How you feeling on that happiness meter?
All right.
I'm 8 out of 10 right now.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 because DAMWON, they have all the problems here. G2 know how to win. And they're going to take the next game. It's 3-1.
Take it. Once they take it, do we bump to the 10? Or are we waiting for the
I see a cracking smile.
Then we go to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
We need
Splice is gone. Fnatic is gone. Where's your loyalty?
I've forgotten everything that happened a couple of hours ago. I'm in the moment
You're
right
all
now.
in.
I'm in the moment.
On this moment
So
here.
that's an 8 out of 10.
1 win away from securing a semifinal. DAMWON Gaming, though, they need to pick up a win to keep their dreams alive. Let's see if they can put a stop to the EU Titans as we get into Game 4.
Good question. Thank you very much, Dash. And I think, as the desk was already talking about, draft is the biggest question as we head into the next game.
Yes.
G2 on blue side for the 4th game in a row, and bot lane wasn't a problem at first, but as the series has gone on, it's looking to be a bigger and bigger issue.
Yeah, it certainly has. And you can see the fans in Madrid so far throughout the quarterfinals, all they've done is suffer disappointment. Fnatic lost the FPX.
Hey, there could be
saw
some fans
Splice
from other
lose.
teams.
I mean, that's true.
No one is allowed in the stadium except for European fans.
But
Isaac.
now
I feel like there's a lot of LBL fans
now
that
they're
travel.
getting excited. Now they can feel it. G2 at match point. The pressure is falling down onto the shoulders of DAMWON and Coach Kim, the man that has taken so many teams so far, both domestically and internationally. Let's see what he can do. We're jumping into draft. So far, we've been seeing Akali, Qiyana as the consistent bans away from G2. Last game, they were the ones to take away the Renekton. So, will that change or will they keep that the same?
Got 3 words for you, Betty. It's a better bot wins. I think that's what the draft is going to be about. I think it's got to be either a trade of that Kai'Sa Xayah or you try to ban both. We're not going to see that. So I think it is just going to be that trade. They're going to ban away Rakan and try to see, will G2 still go towards that Xayah?
They don't mind. They'll first pick that Ryze. They like what Caps was able to do on it last time around. Let's see. They're going to. I think you have to take the Kai'Sa for Nuclear.
I mean, you have to,
his best champion. Question is, what is the follow-up now? How do they round this out in G2 if they want to take the Xayah, which I assume they would? What do they pair it with?
So, one of the big things for me is the fact that G2 get themselves on Ryze. And as we said in the last game, yes, the bot lane difference is very important, but it's the fact that Caps can get out of his lane on this champion. And that is so crucial for the success of G2 in the early game. But I love what we're seeing from DAMWON now. Canyon going to one of his most well-known champions in the Taliyah. Something he can have a huge early game impact on, and something that he often likes to use to set up level 6 ganks in the bot lane.
And I think we're going to see it paired alongside a playmaker here from BeryL. I want to see them going towards that bot lane, as you're calling out. We've already seen this once throughout groups. It was paired alongside the Poppy. I think you can go to something along the lines of an Alistar with the Nautilus taken away. Leona also very, very strong. So something with hard engage to set up for this Taliyah wall coming in and starting off the fight.
And what is the option now going to be for the side of DAMWON? The Irelia locked in. Feels like it's going to go into the hands of ShowMaker, or at least potentially follow the Ryze. This man is a master of melee champions.
Yeah, I think ShowMaker has had enough of sitting back and farming it out. That Corki game did not sit right with him. He was very, very strong, but he didn't really have the tools with that champion to make proactive plays, to make things happen. And Irelia really does have those tools in spades.
Alistar being banned off the board. I would love to see a Leona ban now from the side of G2. I think that it has been a big pick for BeryL so far in this series. He seems very comfortable and confident on it. And I think it should just be taken off the board. Meanwhile, for DAMWON, they want to remove junglers from the pool. Gragas is something they could look to consider. Maybe they ban away the Lee Sin as well if they are worried about Jankos bringing that pick out.
Interesting, too. Last time we saw a lot of the scaling picks limited, things like the Kayle taken away. It's very clear that there's been a shift in the focus as we move further in this series. The LeBlanc taken off the board, respecting the Ryze flex for the side of G2.
Wunder very comfortable on Ryze here too, so you do have to respect the fact that that could be going up to that top lane, and we will find out. Will it be the Leona ban? You know, the kind of, when you go down the pool, further below this, it does get hard, right? People have been going to things like Blitzcrank as kind of the next option, but Blitz is so much less consistent than an option like the Alistar or the Leona or even the Nautilus.
Morgana is the primary support that I'm thinking of right now. Oh, will they really go for a kill lane? I mean, something that they did play in the group
Poppy.
stages was the Poppy, and as I say that, they're hovering around. Oh, but we might see the Ornn support. This was something that they also played in the group stages, and was something that was actually very popular over in the LCK, but very strong at setting up those engages in the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I actually love this pick here for BeryL, and he has been a really flexible player for them. You can go to things like the Spellbook on the support Ornn. You can play it pretty aggressively. It's actually fairly strong in all ends if you can land your knockup, and we know how well it scales. The engage, very reliable, post 6. If you get to those ultra late game stages, you have the opportunities, but G2 says just because you couldn't do it doesn't mean it's not able to be done. They are gonna lock in the Gragas Yasuo.
So the great thing about this Yasuo and Ryze is that Yasuo, I think, is a very good matchup into the Irelia, and both Caps and Wunder are happy to play this champion, which means that they can just flex it to get themselves the best possible matchups. But you would imagine that DAMWON are thinking of doing exactly the same thing.
Have to see. 20 seconds on the clock is what you have to wait out for. Where are the picks going to go? Can't imagine it will be the Jankos Xayah, but we'll give them time. This would not be the time for the most creative draft in their history. Instead, it will be the lethal Gragas Yasuo combo in the mid jungle, mostly where we expected to see this combo coming into the tournament. And now, how much can they get done on this pick? We saw what happens when a Yasuo falls behind, and it will be the Yasuo committed to the mid lane. G2 do need to come out swinging in this game.
They really do, but they have the tools to get it done. You have so much setup for this Yasuo. It's not just the Gragas, it's the Nautilus with the point-and-click ultimate to be able to guarantee that knockup on someone like the Kayle. Kayle, though, a good option to deny this. When you have a team fight with the Kayle and the Kayle in it, it essentially has to be the engage onto the Kayle herself, or she will always deny that combo with a simple ultimate onto that Kayle. So that late game combo, going to be monstrously strong. You look at these bottom 3 picks for DAMWON, you think about late game 5v5, you think about the power there, but G2 has the proactivity, has the ability to make plays and spread the map.
And I am just so excited. We have been anticipating this best of 5 because of how close it is. And we have seen great things from both teams, but now we see comfort across the board. We see Nuguri on a big carry that can be played through. We see Caps making a return to Yasuo, one of the champions that internationally he made a name for himself on. And since he's been on G2, this is his first time back on the champion since he's been a part of this roster. So comfort across the board. We're going to have early game action. DAMWON versus G2, I cannot wait.
And Caps is taking a page out of the Shy's book. This is Hail of Blades Yasuo. This is about that 100-0 all-in. It's not the Conqueror for these long extended trades. It's the 3 quick autos and also the cooldown reduction it gives you on the Steel Tempest because of the bonus attack speed granted by this rune. So this is very lane focused. Caps is looking to crush ShowMaker.
I mean, he's even running the Ignite as well. No teleport available on him, so while it will make him slightly stronger in the side lane, he will not have that global available to him.
And you can hear
the TSM.
the TSM. I was going to say, I just came out of that. I was like, the crowd, they're alive with the sound of Team Solo Mid, or just TSM now, I suppose.
Still undefeated at Worlds.
Still
has to be
perfect
mentioned.
record. Most dominant team in 2019.
No one even came close to me.
Of course, I think it's important always that we look at the jungle matchup. Outside of individual lane discrepancies, this is the catalyst for action that we can expect to see. And for Canyon to be on this Taliyah in what could be his final game is huge, because he has been pretty solid on it so far. I think it's safe to say.
That's looking okay, undefeated.
I'd say for a novice, yeah, it looks pretty. No, of course, Canyon very well known for his Taliyah domestically. You can see undefeated, let alone on Worlds. He is very confident on the champion, and by starting on the red buff, it does suggest that he's either going to path towards the bot side so that he can grab his blue and then look for a play there, or he can look to try and do a full topside clear, but I feel like that would not be very common for the Taliyah.
Now see exactly how these lanes are starting to unfold. Last time G2 played up against the Taliyah, they were very comfortable contesting the early camps, but this time around it looks like it will be a different story, and Nuguri stepping forward quite far in this matchup, but has to be careful. Those early cooldowns from the Irelia are quite long, and while the Conqueror, in theory, outvalues the phase rush, Wunder can keep chasing. That's the level 2. The damage and really solid performance so far from Nuguri.
Yeah, this is really good trading from Nuguri. When you're playing the Irelia into Ryze matchup, it is very much about the extended trades for Nuguri on this Irelia. If you can get on top, have the Conqueror stack, and be getting those autos off onto the Ryze, it is almost always going to be beneficial for you. Whereas the Ryze wants these short burst trade windows,
And of course, as he gets a few more levels under his belt, Wunder should be able to get in and get out with the power of that phase rush. But Perkz and Mikyx using that lethal tempo on the bottom side to sustain some wave pressure. Canyon, though, is here top lane. Will be spotted out by a good ward.
And Gragas is making his way immediately up towards the top lane. He has completed his Predator boots. And Canyon, by doing this full clear top, he's actually in a great position to be able to steal. But notice the mid lane. See that Caps does have priority and can look to roam to assist the Gragas with this blue buff invade. But he's not doing it. He doesn't care about it.
Gonna be about the smite. The stun connects. He will just walk away. BeryL will do a bit of damage, but a good secure from the side of Canyon. Caps, though, now roaming up. Wunder stepping down. Has to be careful. Can't just get burst down. With a phase rush now proc, he will be able to zoom away. Body slam can't come in from the side of Jankos. Canyon's in trouble, but right into the waiting arms of Caps. Can dash through and find first blood. And DAMWON Gaming now have to be so careful. If they lose anyone else here, that's the body slam flash, but they'll manage to make it out in the end.
And we talked about how Caps had the mid lane prior, and I thought that he would use it to come and contest the blue buff. But instead, they set up a collapse onto Canyon. He did not appreciate his mid laner's ability to roam and help him, and while he did have the teleport, Kayle at these early levels was not going to offer anything.
It's just such a disrespectful play when your mid laner is under his turret, when it is this Ignite Yasuo going up against a Kayle. Kayle really offers very, very little pre-6 in these types of fights, and great, you took away the blue buff, but you gave away first blood, you gave away pressure from your top laner, because Nuguri also had to flash to escape this, and this has really put what was an early game winning lane for DAMWON into jeopardy.
And the TP is now down, and that's important. You can see as Caps cleans up these kills. A good wind wall, too, to back this out to make sure that the stun does not connect on the rest of the team.
And look at that, they're setting up another dive on the top lane.
He's
Caps
got
is
double
hungry for
buffs.
blood. No flash on Nuguri.
Walking him down, dashing through. Halo Blades does a lot of damage. He's going to grab that one in the Jankos.
Well, Caps missed his cue. He doesn't deserve it. Jankos walks away with the kill. And Canyon, he will be able to steal away the second spawning of Raptors. But I have a fun stat for you both. Caps, so far in this series, spends around 50% of his time in the mid lane. The other 50% of the 3 to 15 minute mark is spent roaming. And we've already seen what happens if you cannot keep this man in the mid lane. He has now been involved in 2 of G2's early kills, and they now sit with a 1,000 gold lead.
And once again, we find ourselves in a position discussing how long can DAMWON respawn, or survive, rather, as we get later and later. Cap still with double buff, should be able to sustain pressure. Boots 2, a strong early item for Yasuo, will make him easy, or make it easy for him to weave in and out of the coming trades. Topside should still be okay for Nuguri. Early itemization for Wunder doesn't offer a whole lot, but it only gets harder from here if they cannot find any sustainable advantage.
Yeah, and the experience disadvantage is going to be meaningful, right? When you do actually fall behind on those levels, if you're not able to get an early 6, if you can't threaten these all-ins and aggressive trades, then you can't do a lot in this matchup.
Caps is here again. He's level 6. Predator, body slam,
No flash.
is coming over the wall. Ignite goes down. They're still going to try to finish this one out. Halo Blades goes in. Jankos is going to grab another one on the back of Caps roaming top, and now Nuguri has to be careful. Wind wall will be here as well. Body slam will be back up. It should be easy. They should be able to point and click this one down. Body slam in, waiting that one out, and that should be it. Caps not even going to use the ultimate quite yet. Has to dash out to safety. Nuguri still alive for now, but Jankos on a killing spree takes that one with the smite.
4-0, 6 minutes into the game. G2 are punishing the weak early game coming out from DAMWON, and they are obliterating them in this early stage. 2K is now the gold lead.
BeryL has to be careful. Another double daggers, a pull through from the side of Perkz could result in a kill. Nuclear now ignited and burning down. Canyon on the bottom side, but BeryL, this is massive. Perkz, the heal comes up. They're trying to find the kill. BeryL will get one. He'll trade one back in exchange.
And BeryL,
whoop, good hook. That's it. Mikyx's going to get walked down. They're going to donate this one over to Nuclear. If they can, they should be able to. And Canyon's going to grab that one.
Ooh, poor flash there from Mikyx. That makes the setup for a repeat gank a lot easier, and it may be DAMWON again with their bottom lane as a way back into this. It was the proactive play from G2 on this bottom side, looking for that hook in. But you have to remember, the turret damage this early on is so significant. And then BeryL with just a beautiful double knock-up, catching Perkz with the Ignite on him under the turret. Perkz had to heal with the Ignite still active, so got much less out of it. And then Canyon arriving means you can just walk these guys down. And I don't think there was really a need for G2 to push this hard when you've basically just won the game through top lane. You just need to chill and farm.
I mean, all I can say on that is BeryL PogChamp. The man played that beautifully. He's often credited as one of the big playmakers of this team. I feel like in the mid game, he is the primary initiator. But while there are advantages in the bot side for DAMWON, things are still going poorly on the top side. Nuguri actually wins a pretty favorable trade.
The roam more about. ShowMaker now going to be in trouble. Flashes over the wall. The body slam still connects. The Yasuo ult to follow. The Kayle ult comes in, but his judgment on ShowMaker's, he gets cut down, and Jankos now on a rampage.
But now look in the bot lane. DAMWON setting it for a potential dive, but they don't feel confident. They don't have the wave to do it. So G2 with the the jungle support duo roaming around the map looking for picks, we're able to find a kill.
Wunder, good backstep there to dodge out. The flawless duet will not connect, and Wunder now walking into the wave. Knows the ultimate's not there. The Conqueror has been proc, but Nuguri still just has to back away. Wunder will not push for anything else, but with no ultimate available, easy for Wunder to walk up and force a favorable trade.
And he's just going to be down even more experience. He's losing another wave to the turret. There's another roam coming up here from Caps, and with no teleport available, you're going to be in a situation where you could end up a full level and a half down on this Ryze, and it just gets worse and worse. If you're locked under your turret, you are going to be getting poked away at. You're never going to have any threat of that all in. And Nuguri has really been punished in this early game by some of the hubris coming out from Canyon and the rest of his team with these plays that they were trying to make.
Cap's looking at Perkz right now and saying, so remind me why I wasn't allowed to play this champion again all year. The man has been fantastic, and picking it into the Kayle, the champion that, while can trade pretty well against many melee matchups, has not been able to follow or match the early pressure that this Yasuo, with the Halo Blades that you were talking about, Xayah, that he's been able to exert in this early game. And again, he is roaming. This man is a jungler this game. He's not a mid lane.
He's got to get himself a frequent fire card or something. He's just roaming everywhere.
Play going to come through on top side. Easy knockup with the Gragas ult available. Caps is trying to dash through, getting his montage moment. We'll wait for the ult, and that's it. Dominance coming in for G2, and we said in draft, ShowMaker needs to be able to match Caps. What happens? Caps gets a favorable matchup, and he makes his presence known.
This game is honestly looking like it's over. Like, they are just running over them. The top side of the map is going to be so far behind that I don't know how Irelia plays back into this game. It has to be BeryL finding some incredible engage. It has to be the Xayah and the Kayle in the late game, because your win condition now, if you're DAMWON, is waiting for so many items to come through. You got no chance in 1v1.
It's one of those situations where you're like, hey guys, we do have a late game. We can still be relevant. We are scaling, but like, can we get there? And one of the big differences between this game and game one was that G2 could not siege the Baron. Sorry, they sieged the Baron. They couldn't do the Baron because they had no primary tank. But Yasuo changes that, especially with the Nautilus, because the Wind Wall mitigates a lot of the damage that comes out from Baron. It means that it's actually a lot easier for G2 to not only two-man the Baron with someone like a Yasuo, but also just threaten it and start it to force DAMWON into these early fights that they just don't want to be a part of.
The good news for DAMWON is they are able to grab a few plates here on the bottom side. The question is, at what cost? As G2 move in on top side, we'll be able to secure this Herald. It looks like uncontested, as Nuguri's already bullied out, already forced into that tower. Stun will connect. Nuguri now going to try to commit to the play. Huge trade that Tiamat proc on the backside, making sure he wins out.
DAMWON doing what they can on the bot side of the map while G2 threaten the mid lane. Jankos is going to solo that Rift Herald, and because the top lane is so low, G2 can now just use this Herald once it's secured to threaten mid. But look at the roam from BeryL. He is alongside Canyon. They want to try and get something back.
And this is very high risk. Perkz and Mikyx, though, going to be in trouble. Instant ult comes out. Good reaction speed from Perkz.
Look at the play top lane again, though. Here comes Perkz, three-man top.
Nuguri knocked back. Easy kill pickup as the Gragas is now 5-0-2.
Look at Wunder's face in the player cam. He is just laughing, having a great time. He knows what it feels like to be on the other side of this kind of camp. G2 are just ruining Nuguri in this game.
And it does not get easier. You see Perkz and Mikyx taking up home in the mid lane. They're happy to push ShowMaker out. They know they're not really under any pressure. And if Caps takes to a side lane with this Ignite, with this massive lead that he has built up, he could probably 2v1 the DAMWON Gaming bot lane if he plays it right.
I feel like we've got to be closing in on one of the biggest pre-15 gold leads that we have seen in the entire tournament. This is a monumental lead. They are nearly 5,000 gold ahead at 12 minutes. That is absurd.
just huge. Just individually, 1,500 for Caps alone. It's a BF sword.
2,200 in the top lane.
Ugh.
I feel bad for Nuguri. The guy, I mean, he was rated so highly on so many people's top 20 lists. He was one of the LCK top laners that coming in, many people had high hopes for. He has a high risk, high reward playstyle that, while sometimes getting punished, often has fantastic carry performances regardless. And G2 are basically saying, listen, we attacked the bot lane last game, now we're going to invest it all into the top lane. And he just isn't getting the support needed in order to get through what has been a very rough laning phase.
And we checked that gold stat, Xayah. Stats team hooked us up. The largest lead in the tournament so far was DAMWON Gaming versus Low Key in the plans. It was 8K in their favor, and now they're on the opposite end. This might be second, it might be third, but this is a massive lead, and Perkz, while now in trouble, survives, trades his flash for both ultis on the side of DAMWON Gaming.
So you can see that the bright side for DAMWON is they haven't just lost morale. They recognize that they need to find picks, they still need to try and be proactive, and they utilize the Taliyah and Ornn ultimate to at the very least force a flash out from Perkz.
A 2-level advantage for Wunder, but it's not going to be a 1v1 if he tries to force this one. It might turn against him. BeryL, though, now in trouble in the mid lane. It's a split fight across the map. Meanwhile, bot lane, Perkz is pushing in 3 points of action. Wunder will get locked up and taken out. That's going to be big for the side of DAMWON Gaming, but meanwhile, Perkz will get uncontested gold on the bottom lane, and there might just be a dive in mid lane. BeryL's going to be in trouble as finally the Herald is used.
So DAMWON off successfully finding these picks, but G2 is not slowing down. They're threatening the bot. They found Xayah.
Perkz knocked back. A clean play from the side of DAMWON Gaming, grabbing yet another shutdown.
That's a 15-plate game from G2. Every turret plate down before 14 minutes. That says everything you need to know about what this early game has looked like.
But DAMWON not slowing down. They're continually looking for these picks. Caps slightly overextended in the bot lane. He's now going for the fight.
This is not the play that you want. This is absolutely not the play that you want. The wind wall sets this entire thing up. If that tornado connects, if they find any knockup, Caps, though, is going to be in trouble. Forced to flash out to safety, and they will be able to find it. The rest of G2 now on the collapse. BeryL might just be the sacrifice to make sure that DAMWON Gaming can come out on top, and suddenly DAMWON are in control. The Taliyah racing into this river, trying to chase down these 2 kills. DAMWON Gaming finding exchange after exchange, and now on to the Ocean Drake.
But DAMWON, for now, have the numbers advantage because Xayah still hasn't rejoined the fight. They flash onto Wunder.
Flash from Nuguri, but that stun missing is going to be massive. Phase Rush has now been procced. The rest of DAMWON Gaming have to back off. They no longer have control over the pit. Perkz on the way in. DWG Gaming looks like they will back off. Dragon resets. G2 can take this one if they want to, but they will not risk it. Instead, setting their sights on mid lane wave. No, in the end, Mikyx and Jankos will commit to it.
But props to DAMWON for still successfully finding these picks, because the reality is G2 is overextending and overcommitting a lot on these side lanes, and DAMWON are not letting G2 get away with that. So even though the gold gap is very big, G2 do have this tendency when they have these kind of leads to get a little greedy, and I like that we are seeing these punishes come out from DAMWON.
And this is exactly the kind of plays that DWG have to make repeatedly throughout the rest of this game if they want to come back. You have to be proactive. Every time you have those cooldowns up, every time you have the ultimates available, you need to look for them. Caps just barely not able to kill off Nuguri before that Kayle ultimate came down, and then they're able to get that pick. They push back Wunder. It is the trade of BeryL here, but you know, DWG are making proactive plays, and that really is their only hope in this game, because if you give G2 too much time, they can spread the map, they have 2 winning side lanes, and they will just bleed you out.
And with champions like this that are so flashy, that are so mechanical, G2 always like to say good movement wins games. And in that exchange, Nuguri outmaneuvered Caps. Dodging that tornado was everything. He would have died. And if he can continue to be clutch, if the team can maneuver around him in the plays to come, DWG Gaming are not out. Yes, it is still a monumental deficit at this point in the game. But until that Nexus falls, G2 could definitely make the mistakes necessary for DWG Gaming to get back.
I mean, they're playing to win. Look at the CS differential between Nuguri is closing a lot. They're going to give him a solo turret gold here. They're trying to find ways. You know, at the sacrifice sometimes of Canyon here, he's not going to be farming as much. He's going to be protecting his laners, trying to get them the opportunity to get strong and maybe make a play. And you can see Jankos is absurdly ahead in this jungle matchup. He has 6 kills on the Gragas, and with that many early kills, you really do have the potential to 100-0 someone squishy, such as Canyon or even ShowMaker.
You can see that Nuclear does have a gold advantage over Perkz and has an experienced lead as well. And what we saw in Game 1 was the dive power of the Kayle Kai'Sa combo. So we look at this and we see that if G2 keep making silly mistakes and getting caught out, then DWG have a comp and a combo that can come back. But they're not the team to slow down. They are sieging. Here we go.
Knockback is there. They forced the ult out early. The Ornn ult will now connect the wind wall, stopping it in its tracks.
Small thing, I actually love the pre-ult there from Kayle. As soon as he sees Jankos throw out the Gragas ult, he self-ults so Yasuo can't go in.
Wunder now in trouble. They're chasing. They're trying to get out of this. It's not going to be enough. Wunder picked off once again. Canyon on a killing spree.
And it's repeated picks onto every G2 member. This DAMWON, the fact that they keep finding this and the fact that G2 keep getting punished is really good for the side of DAMWON.
And I got to give credit to Canyon. His scoreline 3-2-1 might not be the most impressive, but his use of ultimate has been so consistently clutch. And we've seen this from G2 before. They really suffer against semi-globals and globals. Now Siege, though, taking up mid lane. Perkz going to be there to clear out the wave. Has finished one item, so we'll be able to make quick work of the creeps, but definitely not where he wants to be. He is the one suffering while the rest of his team pulls further and further ahead in some instances.
All right, so DAMWON have made some good plays to try to scrape their way back in a little bit, but G2 still very much in control. And this is where I want to see G2, from their point of view, establish vision, get into a 1-3-1, be able to create pressure on multiple sides of the map, and spread DAMWON out. You want to have multiple pushing lanes so that if there is this 3v1 collapse on someone like Wunder, Caps is taking a turret somewhere else. You know, Kayle is getting pressured on her mid turret and things like this. So we need to see G2 slow down a little bit and reestablish themselves on the map.
So I think that for G2, Drake is the next best play for them. You'll notice that Wunder has gone back up to top lane, and with his TP on cooldown, I imagine that he'll push out another wave and then start looking to group up with his bot side of the map, because they know that they can win a 5v5 around Drake. This is an Infernal as well. There's a good chance that DAMWON will actually look to contest, and this is a great opportunity for G2 to just flex the gold advantage that they have. You can see how G2 are pushing up through mid. They're not committing too much vision towards the top side because it's not that important. What they actually care much more about is the bot side vision, and you can see a couple of these wards littered around. They have some on the entrances, one on the blue buff, and they want to try and deny as much vision away from DAMWON so that this is an easy Infernal to secure.
Ooh, trying to find the body slam flash there will not work. Still forcing the ult out from ShowMaker as they don't have vision on Caps, so can't guarantee that there won't be a follow-up.
Yeah, ShowMaker has actually been really good with these ultimates, using them very, very quickly. You want to use the Kayle ultimate to deny the initial damage, not once you are already low, and that is why he is being so trigger happy with it. As soon as you see the Gragas engage coming, you have to give over the respect that it could be the Yasuo flying in.
G2 group for now, and this is good as Caps does not have a TP. The Ignite, obviously more combat power, but as we move later and later in the game, the Kayle's teleport may become more valuable as she gets more and more comfortable in the side lane matchups. Perkz stepping forward, the rest of G2 now barreling into the mid lane. We might just have ourselves a good old-fashioned 5v5 tussle. Looks like neither team actually wants to kick it off.
What both teams are fighting for right now is mid-priority. So DAMWON thought that because they were there first, they could secure it, but of course, G2 with the gold advantage will force DAMWON Gaming back. That means that G2 have easy access into the river, and DAMWON, their best bet now is to immediately move to top and try and trade this for the top tower. Notice the teleport coming in from ShowMaker. He's going to push in with the wave that he already has, and with Canyon making his way up towards top, DAMWON should be able to at least get an objective back in their control.
I really like this call. You can't actually contest. When you have no vision on the Dragon, you cannot face check this sort of composition when you're at that big of a deficit, and Mikyx getting caught out here.
Nuguri fishing for the kill there. Mikyx forced to flash away. Yeah, really solid. Once again, these small advantages continuing to stack up in the favor of DAMWON Gaming. It was 6K. It's now almost 5 in the favor of G2, but the longer that they go, the more the scaling will start to benefit them.
So the game has definitely slowed down a lot compared to what we saw. I love the fact that DAMWON have successfully found a large number of picks and are doing a great job of keeping the game in a neutral state, making sure that the gold gap doesn't get bigger, it just stays the same, because they know that they will get to a point where they will be strong enough to win these fights, and all it requires is Nuclear and ShowMaker. Those two key points are what will enable DAMWON to come back into this game.
And we also have to take note of the fact this is match point for G2, the last remaining European team in the tournament, looking to go to semifinals. This was a team that was expected to challenge for the World Championship, and on the other side, DAMWON not only have to try to collect themselves, scrape their way back into this one, they'd have to win another.
The call before it comes out. They know Mikyx is isolated. He's going to try to turn this one back. They're all going in, but Perkz still dealing out a decent amount of damage. Canyon, though, he sees the opportunity. Mikyx goes golden, but he will just get knocked back and taken down as Nuclear does get the kill in the end.
And now the only thing that G2 can do is attack on the side lanes. They do have a wave pushing in top and bot, but DAMWON have plenty of time to react to that, and this all stems from the fact that Mikyx used his flash when he was in the river earlier against Nuguri, and DAMWON are able to find another successful punish, but at the very least, G2 can trade back.
And this is why G2 want these multiple pushing lanes. So great. You got the kill onto Mikyx. Solid for DAMWON. But at the same time, you lost waves to the bottom lane turret. You lost your top lane tier 2 as well as minions and experience there. So the gold certainly going in the favor of G2 off this overall play. And when you have the stronger individual pieces, it's so powerful to play out the game in this manner because DAMWON cannot answer you in even numbers. They need to send multiple members to answer one person to try to threaten for that kill, and that's where G2 can really pick you apart.
And to make matters even worse for DAMWON, let's say you send one or maybe two people to go and deal with the Yasuo or the Ryze in a side lane. Fun fact, G2 do not need them to do Baron. They only need Gragas Xayah or Gragas Yasuo. That combo is enough to secure this objective. So DAMWON have to make sure they maintain vision control around this objective at the risk of G2 sneaking it away.
Wunder, though, now potentially in trouble. Nuguri showing bot lane. Once Nuclear shows 2, this could just be the start of the Baron for the side of G2. Wunder now trying to outplay the Realm Orb has come out. He's flashing out. He's dashing out to safety. Fancy footwork coming in from Wunder to keep himself alive. The Baron now in the sights of G2. Will they start this one as Wunder retreats?
Don't think Mickey can solo it.
Yeah,
so
I thought that Gragas was in the pit as well. Yeah, definitely my bad. Here we go from Caps, though.
I'm not going to say you didn't bait me, but BeryL may also have been baited. Nope, no commitment there.
Definitely my bad.
How strong is this Nautilus?
I was looking at it and I was just like, oh, he must be standing over the other characters, but no, he wasn't. Xayah was back in base. That was just Wunder overextending a little bit there. I like the side lane attack from DAMWON. Very similar strat to what we saw against the Kayle in game 1. But now they are actually starting this one off.
I think they should have been spotted by that ward, so we'll see if DAMWON can do anything about it. Even if you know they're on it, it is dangerous to contest. But G2 do pull back, and so critical in that side lane that Wunder was actually able to sidestep the stun. Because if you land the stun, you apply the plasma, and Nuclear could have joined immediately, and that would have been a kill on Wunder. But G2 right back onto the Baron here. DAMWON are group 4, but Nuguri's not here.
Lockdown is there, and Mickey now taken out. That's the call of the Forge God. The wind wall comes out to deny the follow-up engage. It denies the wall as well, so G2 will be able to find the disengage. Does Caps to go in here? Perkz drawing the attention. Ooh, the judgment use.
DAMWON need to disengage. Kayle ult's down on your support. You want to back off. Just push out mid lane here. They have mid lane control, so you got one kill. You dissuaded the Baron. Shove up mid lane. Try to take this turret.
DAMWON, they're only now at a 4k gold deficit with a turret being taken here. They're going to close the gap a little bit more, and G2.
Tornado.
Ooh,
Caps
good
trying to
flash
find
from Nuclear there.
BeryL now has to run for the hills. Jankos goes in, looks for a little bit more. BeryL not going to get taken down quite yet. Chilling Smite has been used, but Nuguri to the backside could be everything that they need. Perkz though pulling back. Nuguri not far enough ahead to find that play, and Perkz flashes in, lands the auto.
Nuclear in trouble.
Tornado, he has to sidestep it, but he won't give him the chance. Caps does not risk anything. Will sweep in with the sweeping blade and find that kill.
And all 5 members of G2 are now alive. They can make a beeline straight towards the Baron. Can Canyon steal the Baron away, or could this be the demise for DAMWON?
G2 should never even give him the chance. Mickey sees him on a ward. Mickey just needs to beeline straight towards Canyon. It's your only job here as the support. Keep that smite away.
ShowMaker knocked up and now knocked out. He has no ult, and the entire team knows it. They're going to finish him off. Canyon now running, but he's going forward. Mickey going to hook into a wall. But it will not matter. They don't find the jungle kill, but they've gotten just about every other advantage.
He flashed right and hooked into a wall. Doesn't matter. Canyon running for his life right now. G2 have secured the Baron. They're going to go catch the wave in top. They can either look to reset as DAMWON look for a fight.
They want to find it. Mickey going to get pulled to the wall. The Spider-Man comes out. Perkz now has to try to make it out to safety. Caps now retreating. A big shutdown. Going to take away at least one Baron buff as Mickey runs.
They can get Mickey too. He's cut off. If you take that long angle, Nuguri will catch up to you.
Moby Boots proccing now. Nuguri's going to be able to grab that one. The stun connects. He just continues to spider knot his way to safety. Channeling the back.
No!
Okay. Will not make it out. 2 clean pickoffs for the side of DAMWON Gaming, but it does mean that they will give up the Infernal after the Baron goes down for G2.
Wow, this is definitely not a clean game from G2, but thanks to the massive early game advantage, which from the top side of the map was beautifully played, it's giving them enough of a berth to make these mistakes.
And they are 6,000 plus gold ahead. Double Infernal ahead. They have the Baron buff on 3 members. G2 are poised to close out this game. And yes, it has not been the cleanest, but the individual mechanics are shining through, right? This is a play where they are in a 4v5. They have no support here with them, and they look for the engage. They have confidence in their ability, in their individual skill, that they can take these sorts of fights and just straight up outplay their opponents.
And the biggest thing was, you mentioned it, Xayah, the fight before the Kayle ultimate was gone, which means that it's a lot easier for G2 to commit onto a single member and chase them down, because now there are no more disengage tools. With all these flashes being burnt, and considering the caps, just look at how much damage he did with a single Q. G2 is just so strong. All the money sits on the mid laner for G2, and he's a large part of why G2 are about to make their way towards the semifinal if they can close out this game.
For DAMWON now, though, it's all eggs in the nuclear basket. This guy got the shutdown on Perkz. He is extremely strong on the Xayah, and you still do have the Kayle-Xayah combo. It has to be perfect if they're going to have a chance in these fights.
Hoping to bait out a wind wall before a fight kicks off.
Oh, Perkz!
Not in the area. Realm Orb will take Perkz out to safety and into the top lane. Good use of the ultimate there. Perkz starting to heal up. Nuguri, though, stepping forward. Cap stunned up 4 now. Wall coming in. They're trying to group them in. They want the full 5v5. Perkz on the opposite side of the wall. Maybe not where they want to be. Wunder coming down off to the side, but DAMWON Gaming do not want to risk anything on fully committing there.
So G2 playing through 2 lanes right now, mainly because Caps does not have teleport, remember. They haven't successfully broken into the base yet. We're seeing DAMWON hold the line, and G2 probably going to have to rely on securing another Baron before they can actually end this game.
You are seeing some of the experience advantages really show through, though. 2 levels up for Perkz, 2 levels up for Caps. A lot of these lanes, because DAMWON is constantly being forced to group. They can't match in even numbers, so you fall further and further behind, and now G2 playing through 3 lanes. You can see Caps, Perkz, down in that bottom lane. Going to be knocking down another turret here and extending this gold lead even further.
Will connect. That's going to be the ulti coming in, forcing the ulti out on the opposite side for Kayle. Caps has to be careful. Wind wall now coming out. He needs to make his way out to safety. Ulti goes in for Nuguri.
They're losing
Caps
their
can't
base.
find the knock. He should be able to find at least one. No, everyone sidesteps, and now Caps is in trouble. The flash forward. They will find the kill, but meanwhile on the bottom side, the base is falling as 2 will be picked up. Jankos on the retreat, but the inhibitor has already dropped. Jankos will body slam over the wall. And now Mikyx finds himself in a very familiar position. Once again, he will not be able to escape.
I respect the attempt.
Jankos now stepping forward, though.
Well, what's he waiting for? Realm
Warp.
Warp.
Wunder and Perkz are on the way in. BeryL is going to be in trouble. Ken coming down, though. G2, if they overstay for too long, it might give DAMWON the Jamie. No, that's the body slam flash. An instant shutdown. Nuguri gonna get taken out by the side of Perkz.
Nuclear's
BeryL
coming
goes
down.
in. Massive. That's going to be everything that they wanted, everything that they could hope for. Nuclear now free to deal damage. Jankos running for his life.
Look at
Wunder's
Wunder.
splitting attention. He's split his attention. He couldn't decide where to go, and that might cost them everything. Nuclear, it's not going to be enough. Goes golden, but it's a long, slow goodbye.
And that is the ace for G2 Esports. Caps is respawning, but the teleport is coming through from Wunder. He doesn't have the Baron, but with these death timers, G2 may be able to take the series right now.
And here we go, the final moments. Wunder looking to close the game. It may not have been the cleanest series, but it certainly was a G2 series. And as they move in and as they close the game, they will knock DAMWON Gaming out of the tournament, and G2 will move on to the semifinals for the MSI rematch versus SKT, the last of the LCK versus the last of the LEC.
The last hope of Europe standing strong here today. It was a tightly contested series, but G2 coming out on top, looking dominant in that final game.
And what a performance. Game 1, we saw some crisp, clean League of Legends from the side of G2. In Game 2, DAMWON fought back. But for me, the biggest difference maker in this whole series was the mid laners. Caps has a history when it comes to performing internationally of not being able to stack up against some of the best mid laners in the world, but today he took his pressure everywhere, constantly roaming, constantly getting lane leads, and he will help G2 move on to the semifinals.
Madrid is alive with a chance for G2. Fantastic 3-1 finish in the end. And you can see heartbreak on the face of DAMWON Gaming. Still a fantastic first year for this team, but nonetheless, it does not make it hurt any less for them in this exact moment.
And what an exciting rest of the tournament. We are now left with 3 regions still standing. LEC, LCK, LPL. The crowd so heavily behind G2 today. it really was that sixth man. You could hear the chants throughout each and every game.
Shox, of course, coming onto stage, getting ready for an interview. It looks like Perkz. Quick hug. I mean, you can't blame him. These are the moments that European fans look forward to. All that faith, all that confidence paying off as G2 prove themselves superior in the quarterfinals.
And now we have the three favorites of the tournament in the semifinals alongside one of the dark horses in Invictus Gaming. This tournament can still go in any direction with FPX, SKT, G2 praised as three of the best teams in the world. We now get to see who comes out on top. Rematches, domestic refinals, MSI finals. Once again, it's so exciting.
It's been so exciting, too, to see these teams ramp up, right? G2, there was questions after their group stage. It was not as dominant as expected. FPX also coming out of groups, and people are saying, well, maybe they're actually not that good. These teams looked great in quarterfinals, and we are left with such a treat for the Final Four teams.
I honestly just cannot wait. Well, I mean, look at it. And it's all of Madrid getting ready as the teleprompter crowd. I'm not gonna lie. We're out of things to say. Let's see what Shox and Perkz have to say about that series.
Thank you very much. The arena's on fire, Perkz. Congratulations. Don't just talk to me, talk to all of them about what it means to make it to the semifinals with this crowd supporting you for 4 games long.
Well, this crowd is pretty awesome. You guys are actually like when we hear a scream in game, it feels really nice. Like I told my team before the game, like we should get like hyped like a little bit, but not too much, because when you guys hype us up, we get too hyped and then we make bad plays. So like don't hype us up too hard. Maybe after the games, like right now, you guys should scream as loud as you can. But during the games, but the truth is, during the games, the only reason why we do mistakes is because you guys hype us too much. So then we make mistakes, okay? Yeah. But
Thank you for giving it back. So, I think they're chanting MVP. I think they're chanting MVP? Is that correct for this series? So, Umayam, do you think that that was an MVP-worthy performance?
my performance?
I'm gonna hold it this time.
Okay. Okay, so I think I could have played better, game 4 especially. But other than that, I'm really happy with my performance today, yeah.
So now, I do want to talk about the series a little bit. It was the closest quarterfinal out of all of them so far, and it looked like you were actually very evenly matched in a lot of those games. Did you feel the same way in game, and what do you think was the biggest challenge to overcome to win this?
I felt like we were not playing to our standard today. I think we were like a bit more scared, I guess, some games of losing. Besides in game 4, like we were like too excited to win. So it's like we didn't really find our balance yet today. But all people writing us off was just funny to me, because I was sure we were gonna win today, no matter what.
That is the confidence we've come to expect from you all. Now, I want to take your mind back to last year when you, together with G2, beat RNG. And would you compare that to me, to the mind space you're in now, at this moment, with this team behind you, with the Summoners Cup behind you, but maybe in front of you?
Well, I think like last year, we were kind of like overachieving in a way because of how bad we were throughout the year. But this year, it's kind of it is our goal to win Worlds, right? So we are all giving our hardest, and we are taking it step by step, right? Each step is just another obstacle to, like each stage is another obstacle to overcome, right? So we are looking forward to facing SKT in semifinals for a rematch, and I'm pretty hyped.
Indeed. next week, on this exact stage, you'll face SKT. I talked to FLICKR earlier, and he actually wanted this matchup. He said, I want that revenge versus G2 for them then. Give me your final words for SKT next week.
Yeah, I think FLICKR should be scared because Clubs is coming.
Fantastic. Perkz, is there anything else you'd like to say to the crowd and to the people at home?
Wait.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, like, nothing in particular, and I love you guys. Thank you for cheering for us. Next week, cheer for us again. After finals.
Wonderful. There he goes. I think he is picking up. Did you say you're going to wear it after finals?
Huh? So,
Did you say you're going to wear it after finals, or what did I hear?
yeah, after finals. I don't deserve it yet, so.
Fantastic. Thank you. One more time for Perkz. Can you show them the crown? Can you show them? There we go. Not wearing it yet, but a great performance in this quarterfinal. Perkz and G2 Esports.
To be the king, you gotta beat the king. FLICKR still lies ahead.
I was going to say that crown, perfect for the winner of Worlds or a Burger King Happy Meal. Sponsor us. Before we go to Worlds, Cooldown is a way of saying thank you for an incredible decade of League of Legends. After that incredible series as well, make sure you pick up your anniversary skin via the 10 days of gifting missions, where you can unlock that and all the other gifts, like a different legendary skin from now until November 19th. From all of us here on the Worlds team, thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck in your Earth matches, which is live right now. Play Zed. He's broken. He's discussing. Disgusting.
Go
Disgusting.
Wukong.
Whatever. Go Wukong. I'm out of words. Grab your gifts as we wrap things up with Worlds Cooldown.